Hi, this is Alan talking, and I've got a story that just made me laugh so hard. I watched it on Rachel Maddow, and I really wanted to share it with you because we've got so many doldrums in the news. This is something that will really make you laugh out loud. Okay, so in 3 Northern California towns in Silicon Valley, Redwood City, Palo Alto, and Menlo Park, okay? In those towns, you know those crosswalk poles that you have to go up and push the button to, and they always say, please wait until the all that kind of stuff, okay? Well, somebody has gotten into those voices and done an automated AI-generated voice, and they clone Elon Musk's voice. And this is what the first one says. We're going to give you Rachel Maddow's take on the other three in a little bit later, but here's what it says, okay? Hi, I'm Elon Musk, here in Palo Alto, California, home of Tesla engineering. They say money can't buy happiness, and yeah, okay, I guess that's true. God knows I've tried. But it can buy a Cybertruck, and that's pretty sick, right? Fuck, I'm so alone. And here's Rachel now with the rest of it.
In Silicon Valley, in the Northern California towns of Palo Alto and Menlo Park and Redwood City, there is something going on with the crosswalks. And not like the part of the street that's blocked off where you walk across in the crosswalk, but actually at the pole on the corner. You know, when you want to cross with the light, you get to the crosswalk, you push the button on the pole to tell the system that you want to cross. Northern California is one of the places where when you push that button, an automated voice usually activates, right? Telling you to wait until it is safe to walk. But in these at least 3 Silicon Valley towns as of this weekend, this is what started happening when you hit the crosswalk button. Instead of the normal automated voice telling you to wait until it was safe to walk, instead, this other thing now happens. And I want to tell you before you hear this, this is not the real voice of Elon Musk.
Wait. Hi, this is Elon Musk. Welcome to Palo Alto, the home of Tesla engineering. You know, they say money can't buy happiness, and yeah, okay. I guess that's true. God knows I've tried. But it can buy a Cybertruck, and that's pretty sick, right? Right? I'm so alone.
Says at the end there, F word, I'm so alone. That is obviously not the real voice of Elon Musk. It appears to be an AI-generated audio clone of Elon Musk's voice. People have apparently somehow hacked into the crosswalk systems in this handful of towns in Silicon Valley so that in these towns, when you push the crosswalk button, you get a message like that one or one like this.
Hi, I'm Elon. Can we be friends? Will you be my friend? I'll give you a Cybertruck, I promise. Okay, look, you don't know the level of depravity I would stoop to just for a crumb of approval. I mean, let's be real. It's not like I had any moral convictions to begin with, right?
Again, that is not Elon Musk's actual voice. Somebody has apparently used AI to make these fake messages that sound like Elon Musk's voice. There's another one that says, hi, this is Elon Musk. I'd like to personally welcome you to Palo Alto. You know, people keep saying cancer is bad, but have you ever tried being a cancer? It's effing awesome. There's another with a fake A voice that sounds like President Trump. And the Musk voice starts talking about how he feels about Trump. And then the Trump voice interrupts and says, sweetie, come back to bed. That one's super creepy. There's also a couple of these things that feature not Elon Musk, but instead the fake voice of Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg in these fake AI-generated recordings claiming credit for undermining democracy and making life miserable for trans people and, quote, cooking our grandparents' brains with AI slop. So there's been reporting on this from NBC7 in the Bay Area and the San Francisco Chronicle and Palo Alto Online and also from The Verge. Everybody basically trying to figure out how this was done, how you hack into these crosswalk systems and who might have done it. I don't think anybody's trying to figure out why they did it. Motive seems pretty obvious.
Something that dovetails with that story, okay? You know, there's been Tesla protests all over the country. This one I love, okay? It just cracks me up to no end.
May I also introduce you to the free Tesla debadging station that was set up this weekend in Seattle, Washington. Now, there was an anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk protest this weekend at a Tesla dealership in Seattle. There's been a bunch of these in Seattle in recent weeks, of course. There were a bunch more all over the country this weekend and even today. We'll get to that in a second. But at the Seattle Tesla dealership anti-Trump, anti-Musk protest this weekend, they did something a little different. People also showed up there and set up what they called a free debadging station for your Tesla, for people with, quote, Tesla regret. How do you take the badge, meaning like the emblem, off your Tesla? Well, you use a heat gun or a hair dryer to warm it up, soften it up. Then you use some fishing line to basically kind of cut through the adhesive on the back of the emblem. Then after you've pulled it off, you use like Goo Gone or rubbing alcohol, some other kind of solvent to take off the rest of the adhesive that's left behind. That's the hardest part. But then you don't anymore have Tesla badges on your car. And in the case of this free Tesla debadging clinic in Seattle this weekend, they also were apparently happy to stick on a replacement car emblem from a totally different car company if you, say, wanted to pretend that your Tesla is now an Audi, or frankly, any other brand of car that isn't, you know, associated with the authoritarian takeover and destruction of the United States government. We'll turn your Tesla into something that doesn't look like a Tesla. Free. And you see they've got that sign there in the upper right, says Tesla regret, and it's got a toll-free number and then a website. If you call the toll-free number associated with the free debadging Tesla regret effort, there actually is an answer at that line. It sounds like it's the kind of thing that you'd encounter if you called a toll-free number for a pharmaceutical product or for like medical advice or something, but it's actually a recording to help you handle your own Tesla regret syndrome. Tesla regret syndrome, TRS.
TRS is a condition afflicting tens of thousands of Tesla owners. It's characterized by persistent feelings of deep discomfort when driving a Tesla you bought because you cared about the future, only to find that the CEO is a fascist megalomaniac out to destroy the U.S. government and sell it for parts, then enrich himself with contracts to do some of the same work. Please listen carefully to the following treatment options before making a selection. If you own a Tesla and aren't sure why you should sell, press 1. If you can't afford to sell your older Tesla, press 2. If you are simply attached to your Tesla and don't want to sell, press 3. If you own a Cybertruck, it's probably best for you to hang up now and deal with the latest recall.
If you own a Cybertruck, it's probably best for you to hang up now and deal with the latest recall. The press 1, press 2, press 3 options, those are real. They actually they connect you to, if you press 1 because you're not sure if you should sell your Tesla, you get a recording explaining that it will make a difference because if you sell your Tesla, because flooding the market with used Teslas will bring down the price of all Teslas. It will make them all lose value, even the new ones. If you press 2 because you want to sell your older Tesla, but you can't afford to, you get a recording saying, sometimes you're not in a place to sell your car. That's understandable. Do your best, though, to charge it home so Musk gets no money out of you. And please come to a peaceful Tesla takedown protest when you can. We promise you won't be the only Tesla driver there. So that's if you press 1 or if you press 2. If you press 3, they say press 3 if you are simply attached to your Tesla and don't want to sell. This is the recording that you get.
We're sorry. Doing the right thing is hard sometimes. Sadly, we can't fix that. But we can tell you that people who choose to completely excise Tesla from their lives report feelings of calm, satisfaction, and even profound well-being, both because no one glares at them anymore when they get in and out of their cars, and because they feel connected to a broader effort to rescue our democracy.
The Tesla Regret Syndrome Hotline. So Seattle, Washington really kicking it up a notch as of this weekend by pairing their anti-Trump, anti-Musk protests outside Tesla dealerships now with free Tesla emblem removal for any Tesla car and a free hotline to call to get help with your Tesla regret syndrome. There were hundreds of people at an anti-Trump, anti-Musk protest at the Tesla dealership this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. There were hundreds more in Tucson, Arizona, at the Tesla dealership there. There were scrappy anti-Tesla, anti-Trump, anti-Musk protests, including some in bad weather in Little Hadley, Massachusetts, at North Phoenix in Arizona, at the Tesla dealership in Stanford, California, at the Stanford Mall, and this one at Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was just at lunchtime today.
We have to be able to have a little bit of levity in this because right now the world is falling apart. We are on the verge of an egotistical maniac running this country and turning us into what I would consider an authoritarian dictatorship. And we have to keep laughing while this is going, because otherwise, if you stop laughing, you're going to cry. We're not going to cry, and that doesn't get anything done. We have to take action. And by watching this video, as far as I'm concerned, you're taking action. That's it today for Alan Talking.